Hey, what's up, comic book fans? Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And guys, that's right, it's Road to Comic Book of the Year. And we're going to get the results for grouping number 2, and then we're going to display group number 3. So, with that being said, let's go over last week's nominees for being possible Comic of the Year. And the first book that we were talking about was this one's not it. First books that we were talking about was Injustice, Gods Among Us, issue number 1 was on the grouping. The next one was Trillium, issue number 1. That was in there, which is this issue right number here. The next issue was Superior Spider-Man, issue number 5. That was next. That was The Death of Massacre. The next book was New Avengers, issue number 1. Introduces the Illuminati here, Jonathan Hickman's run. The next issue was Justice League, issue number 23, the conclusion to the Trinity War. And the last book that was in the grouping to be possible nominee of the year was Daredevil, issue number 25. So the votes are in, and you guys voted. So thank you again for the awesome response. I love doing this. I love getting the audience feedback and participation in all this. So thank you again. So with that being said, with the most votes and the next book to get nominated for Comic of the Year by a landslide, and obviously it was a huge landslide, was Justice League issue number 23. That's right. So Justice League issue number 23 gets nominated for Comic Book of the Year along with Justice League of America issue number 7. So we see a Justice League and Justice League of America book in there. So now you know who got nominated for Comic of the Year, who got a second chance to get into the wild card round, and that book was Daredevil issue number 25. I was happy to see that this made the wild card round. At least it still has a shot to get nominated. So the other wild card book in the group so far is Superior Spider-Man issue number 9, which is that True Death of Peter Parker issue. So there you have it. There's your nominee, and there's your wild card book. And next, we're going to go right on to the nominations, or for the next grouping, group number 3. If I can get my images to work here, because I've got a couple of books that I can't seem to find the covers for. Okay, here we go. All right, so group number 3. If you want to see this nominated for Comic of the Year, please put your votes in. The first book will be Batwing issue number 21. Here's what the cover looked like. This took place on my countdown on episode 18, if you want to relive that number 1 book. This issue of Batwing is the second issue of the new creative team that's on here. Shows Batwing's first real adventure on here. This really gives you a feel where this book was going and the direction that it was going, and it's a much improved title. So this got number 1 book on the countdown for me, and it's a must-read series for a lot of people, I think. So awesome book here. So that is your first book. Next book is right here. Let me get it up. And this is a biggie, I think. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man issue number 22. The last issue of Venom War. This is where you got to see the death of Miles Morales' mother. There's this whole thing that happened. This is where Spidey, or Miles, actually gives up being Spider-Man. This is that issue right before Spider-Man No More. So a very good issue. Again, the death of his mother, Venom, everything that was involved in this issue was phenomenal. So this is a really great book. So there's your number 2 book. The next book, and that was actually in week number 12 if you want to see that number one review. In week one, the very first week, I did um, the countdown. And this next book is, I'm trying to find it. I got comics all over the place right now. Um, Superior Spider-Man issue number 2. This is where you get a really good feel of how much of a jerk um, Superior Spidey is. But I felt that this was the last really good issue with Mary Jane in it. And we get to see here, Peter Parker's ghost is still in here. But this was the issue where you got to see the interactions between Carly and Mary Jane. And, these are the characters that I miss in the book. But this was the one, if you remember, that focused on the relationship between Peter and Mary Jane and how he was going out with all these dates with her. And it was really an interesting and quite funny story as well. I remember that at this point it was like Superior Spider-Man's pretty good, but the book has definitely taken a different direction, and these supporting characters are hardly ever in the book anymore. So, but it was a fun read, and that's why I got number one that week. So, I suggest you guys check that one out. So, what's next on the list? The next book is, here we go. Green Lantern issue number 20. This was a monumental issue. I will not be surprised if this does win Comic Book of the Year. This is the last issue of Jeff Johns' run. He told a phenomenal story here in this Green Lantern book. We had all kinds of writers and artists dedicate everything to him. Just an amazing run he did on 10 years, and this was the conclusion to it. One of the true best books of the year. So if you guys want to see this nominated for Comic of the Year, please vote for this one. Whew, that's a big book right there, man. Next is the Wake issue number 2. In this issue, I felt with the Wake, you got to see what was coming here. You get to see what Scott Snyder has in store for us, with this being this really sci-fi / horrific type of book, where we have these interesting merman creature being captive and our characters learning more about them. The mystery that is involved in this particular issue is actually phenomenal, and the drawings and everything that happened in this book were really good too. This is a fun series. This issue kind of set the tone of where the book is right now. Is if the current book is not as good as it was here, but the mystery is what made this book so awesome. And this character about the character that goes in the ocean deep is really cool. So, but that's your next book right there, and that was Wake issue number 2, and that took place in week number 20 if you want to see that actual countdown video. And last but not least, we have the Vibe issue number 7. This took place in week number 25. Vibe, this issue here kind of stands true to what Vibe's character is, how his character is based off of family, how he reunites with his brother for the first time since the series has started, and it's in an evil way. This book has lots of great artwork. I feel that this book is an under-the-radar book. Jeff Johns did write that first issue, but the book is surrounded by great visual, great paneling, and it has a nice story. And if you guys think that this book is some second-rate character, well, he may not be the most popular character there is out there, but the story is one hell of a story, and this kind of reminds you of a Nova or a Ultimate Spider-Man type of series. That's what this book really reminds me of. But it's a very awesome book, and that's why I got number 1 on my countdown during week number 25. So, guys, there you have it. Again, vote, please. Again, the book that got in this list this week was Batwing issue number 21, Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 22, Superior Spider-Man issue number 2, Green Lantern issue 20, and Vibe issue number 7. So if you want to see your favorite book get nominated for Comic of the Year, please put those votes in. And you guys have been great so far in all your feedback and voting. So keep that up. And hopefully I'll be able to do a reveal for next week's. I'm not sure. I'm going on vacation. I'll tell you more about that later in the week. So, guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And this has been Road to Comic Book of the Year. So, guys, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.